Hi, and welcome to another working interview. Today I'm at Normando Rodriguez's house. He's agreed to sit down with us and show off some of his treats. Normando, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Uh, as you said, Normando Rodriguez. I've been doing bonsai for, oh gosh, since 2018. So what's that, 6 years, I guess?
Six.
Um, got into it when we first moved into this house. So it was about the year after we moved here. Always was interested in it, but always lived in apartments. Couldn't really keep trees. So I was like, I got a yard. Let's keep some trees. And kind of gotten a little overboard since then.
Right, right. It's
It's
contagious.
taken over. Yeah, it's definitely taken over.
So Normando's going to be showing this spruce at the Rocky Mountain Bonsai Society's 54th exhibition. Would you like to talk about the tree, how you came across it?
Sure. This tree was collected by Todd Schlafer. I'm not sure of when it was collected, but I've had it since 2021, I want to say. Um, had it for a couple years, just in a little plastic bin. Styled it and potted it last spring. No,
That's right.
sorry, potted it last spring and then styled it last fall.
Well, it's looking great. I'm seeing lots of just gorgeous
Yeah, it's doing
buds
really
on here.
good. Really good. I'm super happy with it. Lots of budding all over the place. And it's already looking healthy and flush, but it's going to really start to fill in and get a lot more density over the next couple years, I think.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is probably my favorite tree right now in the collection. I have another one that was my crown jewel for a little while, which is right behind you. We can talk about that one next if you like.
Sure.
But this one currently is, I think, the best one I have.
So, as far as prepping for the show, what are your next steps for this tree look like? It looks like it's in great shape to me, but do you have anything planned?
Yeah, I think it's mostly there. Um, I participate in a weekly, I guess, study group, or it's just a collective, I guess, of a few different bonsai guys. Every Wednesday at Will Kern's house throughout the summer. We meet spring, April till Octoberish, um, and we just help each other out with our trees. Consult, give suggestions. Lop this branch off. I'll move this branch over here. And I'll pot it this way. You know, it's really just kind of a collaborative place, which is really nice.
Hmm.
So I plan on taking the tree there and having the guys there just give it a once over, make sure everything kind of jives. I haven't missed anything, and see if there's any like last minute tweaks that we need to make to it. But
Uh,
otherwise, I think it's in good shape.
yeah, I think so. How long have you been meeting with that study?
Since the start of COVID, so 4 years.
Oh, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I first met him at the show, the RMBS show in 2019. Was introduced to him. I just joined the club, and I think the first meeting I ever went to was in 2018. Then I really started to go to meetings in 19
Hmm.
and volunteered in that show, and that's where I met Will. But by that point, it was kind of the end of the year, and I didn't really have any trees.
Right, right.
But the next spring, I started going to his house, and I've been going pretty consistently ever since throughout the summer. I go most weeks.
Awesome. How many of you typically turn out to those?
It varies. Sometimes there's only two or three of us, up to maybe four or five. It's a pretty small group,
Nice.
and the players that kind of show up kind of changes
Right.
throughout the year, depending on people's schedules and whatnot. Because it is on a Wednesday in the afternoon. We all got jobs, so
Right, right.
yeah, it's a good time. It's a good collaborative place. I've learned a lot there, especially from Will because he's very experienced in this, and he studied with Todd and Ryan Neal at Mirai. So he's got a lot of knowledge, and he's very willing to share it, which is pretty awesome.
So, would you mind sharing with us how you've been learning bonsai? Have you been meeting with professionals outside of your study group, or is it mostly the study group helping you out?
A lot of it's the study group through the summer. Um, from a professional level, it's really Todd. I've worked with been to multiple workshops
Okay.
at his nursery, starting probably 3 years ago.
Okay.
I try to do something every year with him, either repotting in the spring or styling in the summer. If I can do both, great.
Right, right.
um, but this year I just did repotting. We got a lot done. Did like 7, 8 trees. That was quite the experience. But most of my professional, I guess, training would be through Todd. I watch a lot of videos online too from Bjorn and from Mariah and that kind of stuff too. But I
Absolutely.
like the hands-on. That's really where you're gonna learn.
You cannot beat the hands-on
Yeah,
practice.
it's the best.
Do you have any advice for anyone that's just getting into bonsai, isn't sure where to start?
Sure. I mean, I guess it's just to not be afraid to do things to your trees. It's a little scary at first.
It is.
Even cutting a little branch off, you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. And after a while, you just realize that's just part of it. And you just got to embrace it and take chances and see how it
Yeah,
goes.
absolutely. So you've got this lovely ficus here. Would you mind telling me where you got it, how long you've been working on it?
Yeah. So this is a tiger bark, I guess.
Okay,
I don't know the scientific name. I'm really bad about that. Don't
I
ask
don't
me what
either.
that is. I know this tree originally came from Florida, from a place called Dragon Bonsai, I believe,
Okay.
uh, Central Florida. It's actually a cool nursery. I went there once just on a road trip. We were passing through. I've got a lot of family in Florida,
Hmm.
um, and I was gonna be driving by. I'm like, oh, let's stop in. I didn't get this there. I just know it came from there. I actually got it
Gotcha.
here in Denver, from, I don't think it's around anymore. Or no, it is. It's up in Lyons. It's called Harmony Bonsai.
I'm
Do you
familiar
know the
with them.
place? Okay. So I got this from him probably a couple years ago, I want to say,
Hmm.
in the wintertime. And it was actually about this tall when I
Right.
first got it. It was just this tall, skinny, with not a whole lot of foliage on it tree. But I really liked the base.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, you know what? I need to get this.
Yeah, well, you definitely got some great ramification going on
It's
here.
been,
Whatever you've been doing is working for you.
it's really been filling in. I did an air layer because it was this tall, and the air layer is actually this guy right here,
Oh, that's lovely.
and this was sticking out of the top like that.
Yeah, I think it definitely benefited from
It de-
separating.
it definitely needed to be separated. I don't know what to do
But
with
you
the
have the base of two great trees there,
yeah. I don't know what to do with the other one yet. I've just been letting it grow, but
as you do.
I'll get to it. And then mainly it's just been filling it in and getting ramification on it.
Absolutely. Well,
Done multiple rounds of wiring on it. The wire can't really stay on here for very long at all, especially in the summertime.
mhm,
I did a full wiring on it probably 2, 3 months ago, and I'm already having to take a lot of it off.
understandable. Yeah, they around here they tend to grow pretty hard for a short period and slow down, right?
In the summer, actually, this guy grows all year round. I've been surprised. I keep this in the wintertime. It goes inside. It can't, obviously, it's can't survive the winters here.
Oh, not at all.
But it goes in the house, up in our bedroom, in a south-facing window in the wintertime, and it keeps growing all winter.
Oh, that's
Not as
awesome.
vigorously as it is now. Like now, it's
Are you
everything's growing.
supplementing the lighting or any
No,
humidity with it?
no, just in the window. I've got it's a in the corner of our bedroom. We've got
Hmm.
2 windows. One faces east, and then the other one faces south. So I just keep it right there, so it gets sun most of the day
Yeah.
in
Well,
the wintertime. And I just rotate it about every 3, 4 weeks because
yeah.
it definitely, the side that's
Well,
facing the window is the side that grows, and then nothing happens on the other side. And so I'll have to rotate it. But yeah, it keeps growing all year.
well, awesome. Good for you.
Yeah,
I definitely noticed some slowdown with my ficus last year when it came in. Um, I don't think it held on to all its foliage, but it didn't
yeah,
really put any on.
yeah. This one survives the transition quite well. It drops some leaves, but not a whole lot. Um, yeah, if you keep it close to a south-facing window, at least for me, plus the room is on the second floor, so it stays warmer up
Warmer.
there. Yeah, and we keep the curtains open all winter time. It keeps growing. But yeah, it's not as vigorous as in the summertime.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Hmm. So these are my portulacarias. This tree right here was just really a little twig that was given to me by a buddy when I first got into this. This is actually one of my first pieces of material that I ever had. Um, so this is kind of the one of the OG plants of
You've done a
mine.
great job with it.
It's come a long ways. So I've had this, I guess, 6 years. It was 2018, I think I got it, and it was really just like a little thing in a little tiny like nursery pot,
Hmm.
like those little
Oh, just a little
the little
whip.
cups. Yeah, it was just a little tiny whip, looked like this when I first got it. And all these other ones that you see are all cuttings from this is the mother plant
Oh,
for
that's
all of them.
amazing.
Yeah. So I've been cultivating all these. The portulacaries are great, but you can quickly have an overabundance of them because they're
Mm-hmm.
super easy to propagate. Like you just cut all the branches off and stick them in some soil, and now you have 30 of
Right,
them.
right.
They're super, super easy. Um, but these are a lot of fun. They they can't stay outside in the wintertime like the tropicals. This is, I guess, technically a tropical. Um, but this goes inside in the wintertime. It grows also all year round, just like the other one. Um,
Nice.
they are actually surprisingly thirsty.
They are, yeah.
They're super thirsty. For the first few years, they weren't really growing that fast for me. And then I was talking to Dave Regan in our club, and he's got a couple of them too. And he's like, "How often do you water it?" Well, I treat it like a
Succulent.
regular jade, like a succulent, right? So every few days, maybe, I don't know, once a week. And he's like, "Oh, we water it just like you water all your other trees, like every day."
Yeah.
Like, really? Okay. So I started doing that, and as soon as I did, oh my gosh, they just started growing like crazy. So now I just keep them. I mean, they're probably borderline wet, but
Right.
they don't seem to mind. They haven't skipped a beat ever since. But these are a lot of fun. These are good starters, I think, um, for a beginner because they're very forgiving. You
They
can
are.
totally just hack at them, and they're unfazed by it.
Hmm.
So if you do forget to water them and neglect them for a little while, they'll be totally fine. They're not like um, like a spruce or a deciduous tree that you need to, or actually deciduous tree in particular, if you miss a watering in the summertime, you could easily kill it, right?
Hmm.
It'll be gone. This, you don't have that problem. If you forget to water for a few days, no big deal. Like, you just come back and give it a drink and it'll be fine.
Absolutely. Looking at this composition, I'm a big fan of that pot. It ties nicely with the
Yeah.
tree there. Where did you get it? Who made that pot? Do you know?
That is a good question. Let me see if there's a chump. There is a mark on here. Let's see. R. Adams? I'm not sure where
I don't know who that is.
I got this. I don't remember where I bought this,
And that's okay.
unfortunately.
It's still a great
It
pairing
is a
there.
really
You
cool
had a good
pot.
eye on that choice.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be in here for a long, long time.
Okay, so you have this amazing Ponderosa pine here. Would you mind telling me how you came by this tree and what you've accomplished with it so far?
Sure. So I got this tree at the ABS convention that took place here last summer,
Hmm.
last June, I think it was, um, 2023. This was collected by the Backcountry Boys up in Wyoming. There was a Ponderosa Pine workshop at the convention that Todd was the instructor for, and I'd signed up for that. So I acquired it for that class. We did the whole styling in the class. It's the nice thing about Ponderosas is that they don't take a whole lot of time to style compared to like a Rocky Mountain juniper, which seems to take an eternity.
Yeah.
So we were able to knock the whole thing out um, in that class. It was done by the end of it. So that was last summer, and then this spring I took a repotting workshop with him, which I think I mentioned before. And this was one of the trees that we worked on at that workshop. It was actually the first tree we did. The container I got from Wiggert's down in Florida. Um, was down there visiting. I got family down there and drove down to the nursery and checked it out. Really cool place. If you make it down to Fort Myers, I definitely recommend going there. They have a lot of cool trees, a lot of tropicals. I have a few other tropicals that I got from there too. But I got this container from there. They were nice enough to ship it back
Yeah,
for
and
me.
that's another great container choice, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, it
It's
turned out pretty good. I think this is just a Chinese production pot, to be honest,
really.
but it was the right size.
Hmm.
It was the right color. Um, so yeah, I think it's a good little composition.
All right, Normando. Thank you so much for having me out here today. It was awesome to get to see your collection.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure having you.
Before I let you go, is there any words of wisdom you'd like to share with the audience? Maybe anybody just getting into bonsai?
For anyone getting into bonsai, try to go. If you have a club in your town, go to the club. Meet people there. In my experience, they are incredibly kind and generous and open to new people. It's the best place to learn. So that would be my suggestion to anyone trying to get started.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Normando. I'm
Thank
really
you.
looking forward to seeing your trees at the show at the end of the month.
Thanks.